Along America's southeastern coast, across the James River, from Jamestown and south past the Dismal Swamp in North Carolina, a light sandy soil from an ancient shore had formed, millions of years old and fertile. With 4 distinct seasons, this warm coastal soil was ideal for growing a groundnut from South America. Thomas Jefferson's dream of an agrarian America briefly played out as family farms and small communities blossomed all along the peanut belt. This is their story.
Virginia-type peanuts is the best peanut grown.
The Virginia-type peanut is a little larger peanut than is grown anywhere else in the country.
I personally think Virginia peanut tastes better than a runner peanut, but I'm very prejudiced.
It's much larger, has more flavor.
The China peanuts and the Argentina peanut, either one, doesn't have the quality of the peanuts grown in the United States.
The climate is just not in general suited as well to grow a Virginia-type peanut in Georgia or Texas.
Maybe I'm a little bit partial to that.
Revered by the Moche, Incas, and other ancient civilizations, the peanut was held in low regard by colonial Americans who considered it a lowly food fit only for children and the enslaved.
It's very clear that the peanut was domesticated in Central South America. The first archaeological evidence for it, though, is in Peru, and that's about 7,000 to 8,000 years ago. There's lots of images of peanuts that appear in sculptures from Inca and from Peruvian archaeological sites. We have peanuts being consumed in Inca stadiums that are piled all over the place, and we have them in tombs of Incas, though obviously people thought important enough that this would be a food for the afterlife. The peanut, in addition to moving west, also moved north and very quickly was adopted in northern South America and in the Caribbean.
Portuguese established colonies on the Brazilian coast. They were probably the first Europeans to see peanuts in cultivation, and they took peanuts back to Africa.
The peanut became a very important product in sub-Saharan Africa, mainly because of the oil. The peanut's almost 48% oil, and there is no oil plant in sub-Saharan Africa, and because much of West Africa is Muslim, they wouldn't have had lard.
West Africa, from Senegal to Angola, 3,500 miles. The peanut made a very big culinary and agricultural impact that shaped African cuisine ever since.
The peanut goes from the Caribbean into the Mediterranean. From the Mediterranean, it goes into Turkey. From Turkey, it goes into China. From China, it goes into Southeast Asia. And so you have the beginning of the peanut introduced into Chinese cuisine and into Southeast Asian cuisine.
It wasn't really easy to go from South America to North America in those days. It was, you're at the mercy of trade winds. Certain parts of the Atlantic coast were not shipworthy. Everything did not travel up and over. Some things traveled over to Africa on a trade wind and came back to North America on another wind.
And there were English settlers that settled in Barbados, and as Barbados' sugar industry destroyed all the local farms, most of the local people moved northwards, and South Carolina was where they started off. Most likely, the peanut arrived in what is today the United States through the slave trade.
Peanuts have played a role in Virginia food, agriculture, and its sense of self since the 17th century. And that is a long time to be engaged with a crop that sort of like lays low. I call Virginia the Garden of Eden of the South because everybody else comes from there. You look at census records from the 1840s, 50s, and 60s, and the vast majority of people born outside of a state, in each southern state you look at, are Virginians. They become the settlers who bring these crops And of course, we have to include enslaved people. They're bringing those seeds and those culture as well.